Hello YouTube, this is Samaris Hunter, and I am bringing you my version of the Red Eyes Black Dragon deck profile. Now, I'm not going to beat around the bush or make things up. I honestly can't afford the upgrades from Legacy of the Duelist. I would love to get Red Eyes Gearfried, the Red Eyes Iron Knight, Red Eyes Baby Dragon, and Red Eyes Slash Dragon, as they're very useful cards. So, until I can afford them, this is the only version I can give you. I apologize. Also, please note that just like with my Ancient Gear deck, the extra deck is not complete. So if you have any recommendations for me there, I would greatly appreciate it. So, let's get started. First, I run 3 Red Eyes Black Dragon. He's a fairly straightforward card. This is the version I use. You can use any version you want. And he pretty much is a ferocious dragon with a deadly attack. I also kind of like the lore behind both the Red Eyes and the Blue Eyes. That the Blue Eyes represents power, but the Red Eyes represents potential. And so far, given the support we have for the Red Eyes, I'm willing to believe that. Next, I run 3 Black Metal Dragons. This is an interesting little card. His effect states that you can target one Red Eyes monster you control, except Red Eyes Black Chick, which, by the way, is not part of the Red Eyes archetype, though I assume you already know that. You equip this monster from your hand or field to that target. It gains 600 attack points. If this card is sent from the field to the graveyard, you can add 1 Red Eyes card from your deck to your hand, except Red Eyes Black Chick. So essentially, you equip it to a Red Eyes monster, give it a small power boost, although it's actually quite significant now that I think about it. And then, if this card is destroyed and sent to the graveyard, by any means, you get to add any Red Eyes card. Which is pretty cool if you ask me. Next, I run 3, now this is going to interest you, Red Eyes Wyvern. Now, most people don't run this card, but I do, because it's a pretty cool card in my opinion. And his effect is that during your end phase, if you did not normal summon set a monster this turn, you can banish this card from your graveyard and special summon 1 Red Eyes monster from your graveyard. Plus it's 18, so its effect essentially states that if you don't normal summon or set, banish this from the graveyard, add a Red Eyes that's already in the graveyard to the field. Plus it's got 1800 attack points, which is really cool. Oops, sorry about that. Hit the camera. Even though I'm sure you figured out that I'm using a phone. Next I run 1 Meteor Dragon Red Eyes Impact. I use this mostly for the fusion play and its effect, even if it is a Gemini monster. Its effect is that it's treated as a normal monster while face up on the field or in the graveyard. While this card is a normal monster on the field, you can normal summon it to have it become an effect monster with this effect. Other Red Eyes monsters you control cannot be destroyed by battle or card effects. Which is pretty cool if you ask me. Though, like I said, I mostly use it for my fusion plays. Next I run 1 Red Eyes Darkness Metal Dragon. Sorry. Get a good look at it. Its effect states that you can special summon this card from your hand by banishing 1 dragon-type monster you control. Once per turn, you can special summon 1 dragon-type monster from your hand or graveyard, except Red Eyes Darkness Metal Dragon. So once you get this on the field, you can pretty much special summon your Red Eyes monsters from your graveyard and your hand, which is pretty neat if you ask me. I also run just 1 Red Eyes Retro Dragon. His effect is quite long. It states that if a level 7 or lower Red Eyes monster or monsters you control, except Red Eyes Black Chick, is destroyed by your opponent's attack or card effect, you can sent to the graveyard. While this card is in your hand, you can special summon this card in defense position. And if you do, special summon as many of those destroyed monsters as possible in the same position they were in when destroyed. You can tribute this card. Then you can normal summon one Red Eyes monster in your main phase this turn, except Red Eyes Black Chick, in addition to your normal summon / set. However, you can only use this effect once per turn. So basically, if he's in your hand, and all your monsters will be destroyed by a card effect, special summon him in defense position, then reset your board back to before the effect took place. Additionally, his other effect is pretty cool. So he's not a bad card. Next I run 2 Blackstone of Legend. This is actually a very important card. It states that you can tribute this card and special summon one level 7 or lower Red Eyes monster from your deck, except Red Eyes Black Chick. If this card is in your graveyard, you can target one level 7 Red Eyes monster in your graveyard, except Red Eyes Black Chick, shuffle it into your deck, and if you do, add this card to your hand. You can only use the Blackstone of Legend, one effect per turn, and only once that turn. So, summon it, use its effect, summon whatever Red Eyes monster you want. It's in the graveyard, target a Red Eyes monster, shuffle it back in your deck, add it back to your hand. What's not to love? Hope you like the background music, if you can hear it. Next, I run 2 Red Eyes Black Flare Dragon. Here it is, and it's a Gemini, so I'm not going to read the Gemini portion of its effect. Just know that's a normal monster until you normal summon it again. And when you do, it gains the effect. If damage calculation is performed involving this card, at the end of the battle phase, you can inflict damage to your opponent equal to this card's original attack. You can only use it once per turn. So if you destroy an opponent's monster, then at the end of the battle phase, inflict additional damage equal to pretty much 2400. It's pretty cool. I run it mostly for its effect. And it's a great fusion material because it is a level 7 Red Eyes monster. Next, I run 2 Red Eyes Archfiend of Lightning. It's also a Gemini, so I'm not going to read its Gemini effect. But once you normal summon it again, it gains the effect that once per turn, you can destroy all face-up monsters your opponent controls with defense lower than this card's attack. So if it has less than 2500, the opponent can kiss it goodbye. It's a lovely card. It's an Archfiend card, too, so it works with one of my fusion monsters. Just like how Summon Skull does. And I only run one of him. He's the backup in case Red Eyes Archfiend of Lightning is incapable of being fusioned. He's pretty much a fiend with dark powers for confusing the enemy. Among the fiend-type monster, this monster boasts considerable force. He's one of Yugi's favorite monsters too, so can't go wrong there. And if you saw my Blue Eyes deck profile, then you knew I ran Blue Eyes Shining Dragon. Well, meet the Red Eyes answer to that monster with Red Eyes Darkness Dragon. I only run one of him. In my opinion, Red Eyes Darkness Dragon is more beautiful than Blue Eyes. Which now leads me to my question. Which do you like more? Red Eyes Darkness Dragon or Blue Eyes Shining Dragon? Please leave your answer in the comment below. I would love to see what you have to say. Its effect is that this card cannot be normal summoned or set. This card cannot be special summoned except by tributing one Red Eyes Black Dragon on your side of the field. Increase the attack of this card by 300 points for each Dragon-type monster in your graveyard. He's easier to summon out because he just needs Red Eyes, unlike Blue Eyes Shining, which needs Blue Eyes Ultimate. I know it's kind of pointless, but I do run one Max C because you do a lot of special summoning. And you get to draw a card every time you special summon. So, yeah. That's it for the monsters. Now we move on to the spells. And I run 3 Red Eyes Insight. Sorry about that. It states that you send 1 Red Eyes monster from your hand or deck to the graveyard to add 1 Red Eye spell or trap card from your deck to your hand, except Red Eyes Insight. You can activate only 1 Red Eyes Insight per turn. So, toss a Red Eyes monster to get a Red Eye spell or trap card. I mostly use it to get Return of the Red Eyes or something like that. I'm sorry, I can't remember the name of these cards off the top of my head. I also use it to get Red Eyes Fusion. I run 3 Inferno Fire Blast. Sorry. This card states that you target 1 face-up Red Eyes Black Dragon you control. Inflict damage to your opponent equal to its original attack. However, it cannot attack the turn you activate this card. It's not bad. It's a fair trade-off if you ask me. And speaking of Red Eyes Fusion, I run 2 of them. In my opinion, it's not a bad fusion-oriented card. You fusion summon 1 fusion monster that lists a Red Eyes monster as material from your extra deck. Use a monster from your hand, deck, or field as fusion material. And if you do, its name becomes Red Eyes Black Dragon. You cannot normal summon or special summon other monsters the turn you activate this card, and only 1 can be activated per turn. This is pretty much my fusion card. I don't run poly. I run 2 Cards of the Red Stone. Now some people say this is a garbage card, but I don't think it is. Basically, you send 1 level 7 Red Eyes monster from your hand to the graveyard to draw 2 cards. It's kind of like trading, only Red Eyes oriented. You can then send 1 level 7 Red Eyes monster from your deck to the graveyard. You can only activate 1 Cards of the Redstone per turn. So, like I said, it's kind of like trading, only you have to ditch 2 cards, and it's Red Eyes oriented. I run 1 Ancient Rules, which allows you to special summon a level 5 or higher normal monster from your hand. I'm sure you can figure out what I use it for. I run 1 Foolish Burial, which allows you to send 1 card from your deck to the graveyard. 1 for 1. Ditch a card to add a level 1 or special summon a 1 level 1 or lower monster from your hand or deck. And 1 Soul Charge, which allows you to special summon as many monsters as you can from the graveyard, so long as you have 1,000 life points to pay for each. That's it for the spell cards. Now on to the traps. I run 1 Red Eye Spirit. Its effect states that you target 1 Red Eyes monster in the graveyard and special summon it, except Red Eyes Black Chick. 1 Return of the Red Eyes. I would like to run 2, but I can't afford it right now. If you control a Red Eyes monster except Red Eyes Black Chick, you can target 1 normal monster in your graveyard, special summon it. If this card is in your possession, is destroyed by an opponent's card effect and sent to the graveyard, you can target 1 Red Eyes monster in your graveyard except Red Eyes Black Chick, special summon it. You can only use card effects, the card effect of Return of the Red Eyes once per turn. I run 1 Jar of Avarice, You target 5 cards in your graveyard, shuffle them back into your deck to draw 1 card. It's a great way to replenish cards that you need. Then I use 1 Solemn Warning and 1 Solemn Scolding. We all know what Warning does, so no need to explain it. But you hardly ever see Solemn Scolding, so I'll go over it. Basically, it states that if this is the only set card in your spell or trap zone, when a monster would be summoned, or a spell card, trap card, or monster effect is activated, pay 3,000 life points to negate the summon or activation and destroy the card. It kind of sucks that this has to be the only card set in your spell or trap card zones, but I mostly utilize Warning for that. Anyways, we're done with the traps. Now on to the extra deck. I run 1 Meteor Black Comet Dragon. It utilizes 1 level 7 Red Eyes monster and 1 level 6 Dragon type monster. This is where your Meteor Black Red Eyes Impact Dragon comes in. Its effect states that if this card is fusion summoned, you can send 1 Red Eyes monster from your hand or deck to the graveyard. If you do, inflict damage to your opponent equal to half the original attack of the monster. If this card is sent from the monster zone to the graveyard, you can target 1 normal monster in your graveyard, special summon it. In my opinion, it's one of the better fusion monsters. You ditch a card, inflict damage, then you can still attack. What's not to love? Next, I run just 1 Archfiend Black Skull Dragon, which is the better version of Black Skull Dragon, in my opinion. Its effect reads that it requires 1 level 6 Archfiend normal monster, which is where Summon Skull comes in, as well as the 2 Red Eyes Archfiend of Lightning, and 1 Red Eyes normal monster. You kind of have no choice but to utilize either Red Eyes Flare Dragon or Red Eyes Black Dragon, so long as you have not normal summoned the Flare Dragon again. Its effect reads that you can only special summon Archfiend Black Skull Dragon once per turn. If this card battles your opponent's card, and effects cannot be activated until the end of the damage step. If damage calculation is performed involving this fusion summon card, at the end of the battle phase, you can target 1 Red Eyes normal monster in your graveyard and inflict damage to the opponent equal to the attack of this attack in the graveyard. Then shuffle it into the deck. So say you have both Archfiend out and Black Comet. This is honestly one of the best combos I've found, because it goes something like this. I use this Meteor Black Comet Dragon's effect to ditch Red Eyes Black Dragon to the graveyard, inflict half the damage to the opponent. Then I attack with Archfiend Black Skull Dragon. Then select that Red Eyes Black Dragon, deal 2,500 additional damage, and add it back to my hand. Wash, rinse, repeat until the opponent is done. It's not a bad combo if you ask me. The only hard part is keeping them on the field. And then finally for the extra deck, I run 3 Red Eyes Flare Metal Dragon. It takes 2 level 7 monsters to create this beast, and it states that it cannot be destroyed by card effect while it has Xyz material. While this card has Xyz material, each time your opponent activates a card or effect, inflict 500 damage to your opponent immediately after it resolves. Once per turn, during either player's turn, you can detach 1 Xyz material from this card, then target 1 Red Eyes normal monster in your graveyard and special summon it. It's not a bad card if you ask me. Can't be destroyed by card effects so long as you have Xyz material. Then you can inflict every time your opponent activates card effects, they take 500 damage. Then you can detach Xyz material from this card to target a Red Eyes monster in the graveyard, special summon it. I know, basically, target Red Eyes Black Dragon. Can't go wrong there. Sorry. Oh my god. Oh my god, I'm sorry. It fell. I'm so sorry. Please don't hate me for that. But anyways, that's the end of my video. Please remember to like, comment, subscribe, and please answer my question. I do want to know which one of the two you prefer. Also, if you have any other ideas for what I could use in the extra deck, I would love to hear that as well. And I will see you in the next video. And again, I am so sorry for it falling. I'm so sorry. Please don't hate me.